the atmosphere in which this came out is a very murky kind of atmosphere where there seems to maybe was a leak in Washington, but then it came out in London through a group, this group Cage, which is essentially an advocacy group for jihadists that wanted to present this in their own way and say that this guy, who I think you can't name for some reason on this show, but this guy was a victim of the intelligence services of Great Britain, that somehow he was I think a wonderful person, they called him. At this press conference, kind, loving, whatever, but he wasn't beheading people.
Let's listen to what they said at that press conference. He was twice stopped from traveling abroad, first to Tanzania, then to Kuwait in 2010. MI5 had been keeping tabs on him, and that advocacy group, Cage, seems to point the finger in that press conference Christopher Dickey's talking about at UK intelligence for trying to recruit him as an informant.
He was such a beautiful young man, really. You know, it's hard to imagine the trajectory, but it's not a trajectory that's unfamiliar with us, for us. When are we going to finally learn that when we treat people as if they're outsiders, they will inevitably feel like outsiders and they will look for belonging elsewhere?
Christopher Dickey?
Well, in abstract terms, what he's saying is right about treating people as outsiders. I think that's very important. It's very important, especially in Europe. When we're talking about the specific guy, it's complete crap. This guy stands there projecting himself on the world stage, clearly something he loves to do, holding a knife in his hand and saying he's going to cut off people's heads. Actually, we don't know if he does the cutting. We never saw him slice any throats. It's just part of his drama, his video game show. I have absolute contempt for this guy. And frankly, listening to that, I have absolute contempt for the people who are saying that kind of thing about this beautiful young man. People are under pressure for a lot of reasons in a lot of places, and including pressure from law enforcement. That doesn't mean that they go join an organization that specializes in burning people alive, crucifying them, throwing them off of buildings, decapitating them, raping and enslaving women. I don't know. Am I getting a little too heated on this? I just don't see him as a beautiful young man.